Sri Venu. Today we will be discussing the 15th verse of Sri Venu Geet. Yamuna, here gopis are talking about the rivers. In Vrindavan there is Yamuna river and Mansi Ganga at Govardhan. These rivers also hear the song of Krishna's flute and they get attracted. In Vrindavan, the rivers like Yamuna and Mansi Ganga, when they hear the flute song of Krishna's Venu, the Krishna's flute, when Krishna plays his flute, and when these rivers hear that sound, they get attracted. These rivers also get attracted. They are Krishna's prayasi. They are Krishna's gopis. So we never say Yamuna Maiya or Ganga Maiya. Maiya means mother in Hindi, in Braj Bhasha, in Braj language. Who is Yamuna Maharani in Braj? Vishaka Sakhi. Vishaka Sakhi in the form of water. She's flowing in Yamuna. Sorry, she's flowing in Vrindavan. And Ganga is who in Braj? I also mentioned about her in her reference. In Golok Vrindavan, Ganga Devi is a Sakhi, friend, who by Krishna got a proposal. Means Krishna proposed Ganga Devi with some proposal. Let's enjoy. She agreed. She agreed to Krishna's proposal. And the moment Ganga Devi came near Krishna, from the front Radharani came. Seeing Radharani Ganga Devi, she became little nervous because Radha Krishna Yugal Milan. All the gopis' service is Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugal Milan. To arrange the meetings of Radha and Krishna is the Prayojan goal service of all the Sakhis, Manjaris. So Sakhis, Manjaris never want to enjoy Krishna independently, away from Radha Rani. But some gopis um, are submissive to Krishna's proposals. They can't refuse Krishna. And some gopis, they can directly say no to Krishna. They can directly refuse Krishna's proposal. Here, Ganga Devi could not reject Krishna's proposal. But when Radharani came from the front, what she could do? So, to hide herself, she became water. She became water. How would Radharani know? No, this water is who? That is why the same Ganga Devi is known as Mansi Ganga at Govardhan. She flows as Mansi Ganga at Govardhan. When Nand Maharaj, with his cowherd friends, they all were sitting in their bullock carts and they were going somewhere. So Kanhaiya asked them, Baba, where are you going? Baba said, we are going to Haridwar to take to bath in Ganges water because it's very pious. Krishna said, Baba, all rivers are present in Braj. Baba said, in Braj there is only Yamuna Maharani. No, Baba, there is Ganga also here. Where? So Krishna, by his mind, from his mind, immediately got Ganga in Braj. Gange chali aa. So Ganga from Golok Vrindavan, she came in Braj. So she flows as by the name Mansi Ganga in Govardhan because she was manifested from Krishna's mind in Braj. So these rivers are also Krishna's Sakhis, Krishna's friends. They also get attracted listening to Krishna's Venu song. So here lust means what? Like in this world, we also have lust. Is this the same lust which this Ganga river have? No. Here lust means prem, transcendental prem. So gopis prem love is known as lust. Is called as lust because they all activities or actions are for the satisfaction of Krishna. So actually their lust is not lust, but it's actually love, prem, which is service. So sometimes we see in rivers there is a circle. It's called bhavar. What is that circle? It's the desire to serve Krishna. And one more thing you can see in rivers, waves, soft waves. So actually they're not waves, they are called tarange. They flow very gently. So when you throw a pebble in the river, what happens? There are some gentle, not heavy, but very soft and gentle waves. So these are their arms, and with their arms, these rivers they have some lotuses, and those lotuses they they carry those lotuses in their waves with their waves, and they offer to Krishna. This is the okay. So they carry those lotuses on their chest actually because they're okay. So in the commentary, there is the meaning of this verse. Let's hear the commentary. Krishna Anuragani Gopya, those who have anurag in Krishna and no anurag in anything else of this world. These Krishna Anuragani Gopyas, when they hear Krishna's flute song, Venu Nad, they get attracted to Krishna and they become helpless. They become helpless. It's not mad but helpless. Where one person becomes so helpless, you're not able to love someone completely like an ordinary person, and you can't even stop loving that person. At the same time, you are not completely mad, so you are kind of, there's a desire to meet in a person, but the meeting is not taking place. So neither they are able to serve Krishna, nor they are forgetting Krishna. Gopis, Braj gopis, because they can't go near Krishna, so they can't really serve Krishna physically. And at the same time, they can't meet Krishna, so they became helpless, these gopis. And and they are sitting around among their friends, and they are discussing about Krishna's flute song, about its effect. They have taken this as a subject, Venu, Krishna's flute. This is the subject of for gopis, and now they're speaking with each other. So while speaking to each other, they express their views that how the birds of Vrindavan, they hear Krishna's Venu Nath and they become attracted. They get completely absorbed, birds, and they get astonished. Like Krishna through his flute, you know, there's a word, um, there's a word called thagna. Oh, cheat. So Krishna cheated these birds by playing his flute. This is what Krishna does in Braj. He's a cheater. because these birds were independent. They were flying here, there, sometimes this branch, other time, other branch. But this Venu, Krishna's flute, it took away their independence, which is the quality of birds. They are independent. They are free. They can fly anywhere. They don't like to be controlled in a cage. It's very violent to catch birds and keep them in cages. It's not very nice. But Krishna did this violence. He did not keep them in cages, but he bounded them with his Venu. That's why they are astonished when they hear Krishna's flute song. But these gopis are so patient. These gopis are so patient that even though when they're speaking about birds like this, they're not expressing their internal moods. They are so grounded, gopis. They are so grave, grounded, and patient. They're hankering, they're restless, but they have patience. They have patience. And while they are being patient, and while they are being patient, they are not expressing or showing their internal moods. Although they are discussing about the moods of these birds whom they are seeing, but they are not expressing openly their internal moods. So many times I told you this before. Take a perfume bottle, open it, you open it, and the entire perfume would evaporate. The more it's closed, the more it remains for years, years, and years. So, love is also like this. Love is also like this. Love is, if it's expressed like openly in public, then that love becomes dull, it evaporates. Like, they say that if you keep on saying everywhere to everyone that I love this person, I love this person, that love, then that love becomes dull, it fades. So gopis are very beautifully in a container keeping this love. Which container is that? That container is of patience. Dhairya, patience. Do we have patience? We have no patience. So gopis are giving us this instruction that we must be patient. So that's why these gopis are dhairashil, means patient. So in that container of patience, they are patient. Have kept their internal moods secret, and they are not expressing or showing it to anybody else, not even their intimate friends. Their internal hidden moods, which they have for only Krishna, their love for Krishna, their moods for Krishna, their feelings for Krishna. They indirectly they are um, speaking through birds, by the medium of birds, animals, cows, calves, peacocks, land. Seeing them, seeing all of them, they express love, but then they hide immediately their internal feelings, what they have in their heart for Krishna. Although these gopis, they are Purva Ragvati. They already had rag for Krishna. Purva Rag means what? They had hankering to meet Krishna, deep hankering to meet Krishna. Example, Krishna will come now. Krishna will come now. All the time, those who have this hankering that Krishna will come, Krishna will come, Krishna will come, this is a restlessness. Soon we're gonna meet, soon we're gonna meet. So they don't lose their expectation. Their hopes, actually hopes. They don't lose their hopes. They always have their hope. And they spend all their time being hopeful, not hopeless. So even though these gopis are Purva Ragvati, they had hope. They were full of hopes. They were hankering to meet Krishna. They were Atur and Adhin, means they were restless to meet Krishna. every moment for them in separation from Krishna is like ages. It's like yugas. It's like yugas. It's that level of prem which we can't even imagine. 1 minute. Okay, it's not second. Less than a second. Even less than a second feels for them like yugas. Mahaprabhu said one verse, Yugaitam nameshina chakshu cha pravashitam shunyate jagat sarvam govidam vireme. Mahaprabhu is saying the time our eyelids takes to blink, it takes even less than a second to blink our eyelids. Gopis are saying so much time, even in that much time, if we don't see darshan of Krishna, we feel as if yugas have gone. This is such high level of love, prem, where even less than a second one cannot spend without their lover, and it feels to them like many yugas have passed by. And at the same time, if they are meeting, when they're meeting, that meeting also goes by in few seconds, like Ras Leela. In Ras Leela, Brahma, that Ras Leela went on for one night of Brahma, and one night of Brahma is how long? I have told you already. But gopis thought that that this one night of Brahmaji, which is of thousand and thousand and thousands of years, it just went by in few seconds. Only 1 second. So quick. Why they feel so? This is another level of prem, where even 1 second without meeting feels like many yugas have gone by. And separation, it seems to be like ages, yugas. And in meeting, the meeting becomes so short. Like we just met 1 second back. The time flew like that. It's here the meaning is that they spent the entire Ras Leela throughout the one night of Brahma, but then the gopis feel, oh, it just went by so quick, just like in few seconds the night got over. So gopis are hiding their moods. Venu is so attractive. Mohini means the one who captivates you. So this flute captivates everyone. Like Mohini avatar, Mohini incarnation. In that, by trick, by a nice attractive trap, Mohini cheated demons and gave nectar to demigods. Similarly, this Venu Nath, Krishna's flute song, is such a Mohini Shakti which attracts us. But due to that Mohini Shakti, the gopis are becoming akul and vyakul. Vyakul means anxiety, restless. So in last 14 verses, we heard the gopis are not giving any lecture to anyone. They are not standing on a stage with a mic. This is happening among them, among gopis. It's their personal conversation. They are not speaking this to a random person or to public. So among in this personal conversation, now these gopis are talking about the rivers like Ganga and Yamuna who are present in Braj. Krishna's beautiful flute song. By the effect of that, even these rivers were just some water, even they get the symptoms of prem in them. This is the effect of Krishna's flute song. Here gopis are saying, how are these rivers? They are unconscious rivers. Rivers are unconscious. They have no consciousness. They are not like humans. A chetan means unconscious. They are just flowing as if they are just lying there. A chetan means like if someone faints, they become unconscious. So these rivers are also flowing in water, in the form of water, and they are so unconscious. And unconscious rivers, they have symptoms of prem, love. They're getting those symptoms. And those symptoms, when they get those symptoms, they become astonished and restless. Mugd and vyakul. Vyakul means restless. So whatever is being repeated, I'm skipping that. In Bhagavatam, it is said, Uttam Adhikari have a symptom. Three types of devotees we have: Kanisht, Madhyam, and Uttam. Kanisht is who? Kanisht is who? Maharaj is asking. There is a verse. Those who only think that deity worship is everything, but ignores Vaishnav Seva. That is Kanisht Adhikari. There is a verse actually which Maharaj is thinking here, which says about Kanisht Adhikari. So there are symptoms of Madhyam Adhikari. What are the symptoms of Uttam Adhikari? So Maharaj is discussing here the symptoms of Kanisht, Madhyam, and Uttam. So towards your Ishtadev, seeing your Isht in all living entities, seeing your Isht in every entities, every living entity, and 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 seeing all living entities in your Isht. This is the symptom of Uttam Mahabhagavat. Mahaprabhu's Priya Parshad, Sri Rai Ramanan Rai says, all the Mahabhagavat the pure devotees of the Lord, they are Sthavak and Jangam. Means they are uh, among trees, animals, humans, wherever they see, they only see Krishna. They only remember Krishna in all situation and in everything. They don't see anybody else. This is the symptom of Uttam Mahabhagavat. So when we go near them, we might not get much gain. If we go near an Uttam Bhagavat, oh, they will say us that we are Krishna Bhakt, and we will feel shy that I am not a Krishna Bhakt. I have not even started bhakti yet. But the glasses of Uttam Adhikari is such that through their classes they see and everyone as devotees. This is a symptom. They see everyone around them as devotees. This is the symptom of Uttam Mahabhagavat. So um, Uttam Bhagwat, if they see anyone outside, externally in this world, or when they see people of this world, then they don't see their body. Their darshan is different. Example, I'll give you one example here. When Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj was there, Prabhupada used to go there to take his darshan, Thakur Prabhupada ji. But Prabhupada used to say no, don't, nobody should go near them. Now you might think Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, along with his disciples, few disciples, he would tell them, don't go to take darshan of Babaji Maharaj. Why would he say so? Because Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj, externally, how he used to stay, as if he's not a devotee. He would take hookah in his hands and he would wear a kopin. That's it. No other cloth on his body except for his kopin. And outside his bhajan kutir, he would just throw fish. So externally, people would think that he's not a devotee. He's not devotee. He's just showing off. He smokes. He smokes hookah and he eats fishes. So people will think that he's not a devotee. So then they won't disturb him. So they won't disturb him. That is why around him he made the environment like this. But this is not true. That he never drank hookah. He never smoked. He, he was just showing it so that no one would come near him to disturb him. And if someone gets to know that he is a pure devotee, then what would people do? Maharaj, my daughter is just not getting married. Maharaj, I'm not able to clear my exams. Maharaj, my business is going down. So Maharaj will get so busy in all this. So that's why they show as if they are nothing. But what's their internal mood? This we need to understand their internal mood. Thinking that they are mad, small children in the village, they would throw stones at him at Bamshidas Babaji Maharaj, thinking that he is some mad person. But he was not mad actually. When children used to throw stones at him, see what his mood was. He used to say, I today, Kanhaiya, today I will complain to your mother, Shoda Maiya. You come with your sakhas and you throw stones on me. Today I will complain to Yashoda Maiya about your behavior. See, with what vision those who are throwing stones at him, they are seeing Krishna in them. Means he is wearing the glasses of Uttam Mahabhagwat. Even in ordinary children, he is seeing Krishna. Krishna, today I'll complain about you to Yashoda Maiya. Second example here is of um, our Guru Maharaj. When he was very um, aged, he had no hair on his head. So one day, he sat in a train from Navdeep to go to Kolkata when he was aged. And there was a sevak with him. In that local train, in India, children are very, naughty. They tease sadhus. They're nasty. They will take off their dhotis or they would pull their shikha. I mean, they would open their shikha. So these children sometimes are very clever. Some. So Guru Maharaj, when he was with his sevak in the train from Navdeep to Kolkata, some boys in the train, they sat in the train and they started putting their hand on Guru Maharaj. They were teasing Guru Maharaj. If if we would see this, we will not sit quiet. So the sevak got very angry, and with anger, he wanted to fight with those children, but Guru Maharaj stopped them. Be quiet. They are Dham Vasis. They are giving me their mercy. What's wrong with you? Such a big thing Maharaj said. Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj. He's saying that so actually those boys in the train, they were putting hands like this on Maharaj, like this, like this. So the Sevak got very angry because he could not see this for his Gurudev. But Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, stopped his Sevak and he said that they are Dhamvasis. They are giving me blessings. So he is wearing the glasses of blessings. Uttam Mahabhagavat have this symptom. It's the symptom that they don't see faults in others. We say, this language, karmi, materialistic log, bhogi, they have no connection with God. This is our glasses which we are wearing. But for them, for this Mahabhagavat, which glasses are they wearing? Oh, they all are Bhagwan's servants. They all are serving Bhagwan. They are Brajvasis. So this is how they are. So we will not imitate Uttam Mahabhagavat. We can't imitate Uttam Mahabhagavat. If we see everyone as devotees, then for us, those who are smoking, drinking, eating non-veg, even they are devotees. So if they are smoking, eating, drinking, then I should also eat, smoke, and drink because even I am a devotee, they are a devotee. So for us, we cannot come to that level yet. We can't imitate these Mahabhagavats. Like seeing the feathers of peacock, Shri Murari Gupt Mahabhagavat. Murari Gupt Mahabhagavat, he fell. He fell because this is an example given here actually in this verse. Sri Murari Gupt, he is an associate of Mahaprabhu, very intimate associate of Mahaprabhu. Sri Murari Gupt. He is standing in his balcony and from distance he saw a peacock feather. He didn't see the peacock. He has not seen peacock, he only saw a peacock feather. And what reminded him? How Krishna plays flute and he dances. Krishna's sweet smile on his face. He remembered all this stimulation. Stimulation came to his mind, and with that stimulation, he fell from his balcony. Murari Gupt, he fell from his balcony, and this is called Mahabhagavat, where anything of Krishna, any reflection of Krishna, or anything in relation with Krishna, when they see them, they become like this. They just this situation happens to them. So in Bhagavatam, the situation of Prahlad Maharaj is the same, where where remembers Bhagwan, he gets so absorbed in different feelings. Nishtha, Ruchi, Adi. So here the meaning of this verse is Uttam Adhikar. Uttam Adhikari means Mahabhagavat. Uttam Adhikari means Mahabhagavat. Their situation is Nishtha, Ruchi, Asati, Bhav, and Prem. So they become elevated actually. But even though they are at a higher level, they they okay. So here the symptoms are given. Braj Gopis, Braj Ramaniya. They are the Kaya Swarupa of Shrimati Radhika. All these gopis, they are the Kaya view, reflection, expansion. They are the expansion of Radhaji. Like, who is Lalita Sakhi? The Lalit nature of Radharani is Lalita Sakhi. Vishakha is who? Radharani's special nature. That's called Vishakha. Vishesh. So Lalita, Vishakha, and all these other gopis, they are expansion of Radharani. Among them, there are some Nitya Siddha, and among them also some are Sadhan Siddha. Who are Nitya Siddha? Nitya Siddha gopis. Not those who did sadhana and then they became perfect. No, those who were always in Golok Dham, serving Shri Radha Rani. They are Nitya, eternal. Not that they came on earth, they did some sadhan and then they went back. No. But the second categories of sadhan siddha means those who did sadhan. Those Adu Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. So they crossed each and every stage to get Siddhi. Those are Sadhan Siddh gopis. So with those Nitya Siddh gopis are also present Sadhan Siddh gopis. This is a beautiful point here actually. These Sadhan Siddha gopis, these are who? Munichari, Shrutichari, Rishichari, and Shrutichari, who took darshan of Shri Ram, and they chanted Gopal mantra for so many years, for thousands of years, thousands. They are actually in male form, but they have feeling of Madhuras, gopis. These are Munichari gopias. Munichari gopias. They became perfect after doing sadhan. But whom did they focus on? Meditated on. They meditated. They I meditated on whom? Braj gopis. So the way they did service, we are also doing service. This is one category. Some demigoddesses also. These demigoddesses, they saw the fortune of gopis, so they did sadhan. They wanted to become gopis, and then Shrutichari, the Vedas. They also we will also take shelter of gopis, and we also want to serve like them and get Krishna's service. All of them are sadhan siddh gopis. For them, their lakshya, their prayojan is who? Braj gopis, Municharis. For them, their idol is Braj gopis. So even though now let's understand this point here. These gopis, these gopis are Kamanuga. Kamanuga. Brajvasis are of two types, Sambandh Anuga and Kamanuga. Dasya, Sakhya, Vasalya are Sambandh Anuga category. Those who want to learn, it's for them, they can note it down. But there's a special relation that gopis have with Krishna as the relation of a beloved, Priya Priyatam. This is what Kamanuga. That's why here the word used here is Kamatpik Gopya. These Braj gopis, when they see Yamuna Maharani and Masi Ganga, then they understand that after hearing Krishna's Venu, these rivers are becoming vyakul. restless. This is how these gopis take darshan. Till now, we have been hearing about Uttam Mahabhagavat. The purpose of that is what? To show these moods of gopis to others. Gopis see their feelings in others. Like if, like these gopis are hankering to meet Krishna, so they are seeing Yamuna is also hankering to meet Krishna. They get so absorbed, they get so restless that see these rivers are also uh, you know listening to Krishna's Venunath. Nand Nandan Shri Krishna. Maharaj is actually speaking the verse now. Krishna, when he walks in beautiful Vrindavan, then Yamuna, and he comes to the banks of Yamuna Maharani and Mansi Ganga. So when he walks, what he hears, the words of rivers. The rivers flow like kal, kal, kal. It's a word in Hindi, kal, kal. That word, gopis are, Krishna sees that as music. And in those rivers, if there are some ripples, circles, in okay, so gopis, when they see lotuses in Yamuna's water, where there are ripples as well, then um, they also hear cuckoo's sound, and by his touch, even the wind. So yeah, when the wind flows, then these gopis get so attracted. Not gopis actually, rivers. This is the speciality of Krishna, which gopis are describing here actually. Now Maharaj is explaining it again. Nand Nandan Shri Krishna, when he roams around in Vrindavan and he goes to Mansi Ganga and Yamuna at their banks, he's walking, he's enjoying, but he saw two things. One was the words of rivers, they took them as kirtan. And those lotuses who are flowing in the water, they're moving. You see any pond, the pond is moving in the lotus is moving in the pond, and Krishna is looking at those lotuses. And near those rivers there is a cuckoo, and she's singing very beautifully. And then Shri Krishna's uh, Dhira Samir, the wind which breezes, the breeze which flows, such soft breeze. So in that emotions they become so absorbed. Krishna plays a beautiful Murli Tan. Now he has started to play his Murli. This means what? This means what? Sri Krishna's, inside him there is some feeling. So the environment around Krishna is stimulating actually. Hearing cuckoo's sound, hearing the words of the rivers, seeing the lotuses, the cool breeze is blowing. So, so Krishna is completely absorbed in Param Anand. Similarly, with Bhav, he he plays his Murli. And when he plays, then what happens? Then the water of rivers stop. Those rivers whose water was flowing earlier, but now it has stopped. They have become stagnant immediately. How is it possible? Who can stop the flow of rivers? Krishna's Venu Nad can stop their water flowing. And in the chest of those rivers, because on their chest there are bumblebees coming round round. Okay, there's bhavar. It's a different word used in. It's not ripple. Ripple is it's like waves, and bhavar is oh, there's the English word for this. World. If you get trapped in that world, then you can't come out. We see whirlpool, right? This is called bhavar, not bhavra. Bhavra is bumblebee. But here the word used is bhavar. So all of them are what? They are. Krishna is seeing the chest of these rivers. On their chest, they are not one or two, but unlimited lotuses. Means in his heart he has. Sorry, in his those those bhavar who are moving, it reaches the chest of Krishna's vaksthal, means thigh. The rivers want that Krishna should touch us. The rivers want that Krishna should touch our water. So in that water touches Krishna's chest, and those soft, gentle waves of rivers. Okay, so the rivers have very soft, gentle waves, not like ocean waves. Samundar waves are like high tide, low tide, and they're very rough. They take long jumps. Rivers are not like this. Their waves are very soft and mild. They go very slow, 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 slow. So those rivers are collecting lotuses from them and offering it to the Krishna's lotus feet, as if you can meditate. Like if Gopi is holding lotuses in her hands and offering it to Krishna. Similarly, those rivers are, are taking flowers, these rivers, and offering it at the lotus feet of Krishna. Gopis, it's all about bhav here being discussed. Means the classes which we wear. Now, seeing these rivers, gopis are thinking that Yamuna and Mansi Ganga have such huge love for Krishna in their heart than us. We are. So this is the same thing which we heard in 14 verses, previous 14 verses. Now here gopis are discussing about rivers, how fortunate they are. These rivers are becoming, actually they are losing their consciousness. And among them, in these rivers, there are so many symptoms of lust which are visible, as if they are hankering to meet Krishna. These rivers getting the emotions of lust. Here, lust means prem, love, not material lust. And in that emotional feelings, they are getting distortion inside. Um, if get angry seeing you, then what would I do? Maybe my eyes will become red. This is called having symptoms in your body. It's called vikar. If you leave me, leave my hari katha, then what would I'll feel bad? I'll cry. Vikar, transformation in the body. So gopis are becoming restless to meet Krishna, and they are expressing their feelings to their intimate friends, their sakhis. But we will listen to this tomorrow because it's a big topic. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. श्री वेणुगीत की जय. All grace to Venugit. Shri Mansi Ganga ki jai. Shri Yamuna Maharani ki jai. Tomorrow same time Venugit. Hare Krishna.